What if one of the most famous psychology experiments in history was a complete sham? An experiment that claimed to prove how easily good people can turn evil when given power. This is the story of the Stanford prison experiment, and new evidence suggests the entire thing might have been rigged from the start. In 1971, psychologist Philip Zimbardo set out to conduct a groundbreaking study. He wanted to understand the psychological effects of perceived power, focusing on the struggle between prisoners and prison officers. Zimbardo and his team recruited 24 male college students, all deemed psychologically healthy and stable. They were randomly assigned to be either a prisoner or a guard in a mock prison set up in the basement of Stanford University. The prisoners were arrested at their homes by real police officers, booked, and brought to the simulated prison. They were stripped, deloused, and given uniforms with numbers to replace their names. The guards, on the other hand, were given khaki uniforms, reflective sunglasses to prevent eye contact, and wooden batons. They were told their job was to maintain order in the prison. Zimbardo himself took on the role of the prison superintendent, a decision that would later draw significant criticism for blurring the lines between researcher and participant. The experiment was originally planned to last for 2 weeks. But it was shut down after just 6 days. The official story is that the guards became so sadistic and the prisoners so psychologically broken that Zimbardo had no choice but to end it early. The guards allegedly subjected the prisoners to increasingly cruel and dehumanizing punishments. They forced them to do push-ups, often with a guard's foot on their back. They woke them up in the middle of the night for counts that dragged on for hours. Prisoners were denied basic comforts, and some were placed in solitary confinement, a small, dark closet. The prisoners, in turn, began to show signs of extreme stress and emotional disturbance. Some rebelled on the second day, but their resistance was quickly crushed by the guards. Others became passive and helpless, showing symptoms of acute depression. One prisoner, number 8612, reportedly had a breakdown and had to be released early. The story became a legend in psychology. It was taught in textbooks, featured in documentaries, and even inspired multiple films. The conclusion seemed clear and terrifying: put good people in an evil place, and the evil place will win. Power corrupts, and it corrupts absolutely. Zimbardo's experiment seemed to provide definitive proof that situational forces, not individual personality, determine behavior. But what if that's not the whole story? What if the guards weren't just naturally falling into their roles? What if they were being coached? Recently unearthed recordings from the experiment, along with new interviews with the participants, paint a very different picture. It turns out Zimbardo and his team didn't just observe the guards. They actively encouraged them to be tough. In one recording, a warden from Zimbardo's team, David Jaffe, can be heard telling the guards that they needed to be more firm and that the experiment's success depended on their performance. He told them it was their job to create a sense of fear and powerlessness in the prisoners. This wasn't observation, this was instruction. One of the most infamous guards, Dave Eshelman, who was nicknamed John Wayne for his domineering style, later admitted that he was consciously acting. He saw the experiment as a form of improvisational theater and was trying to give the researchers the results he thought they wanted. He was creating a character. He didn't believe he was naturally sadistic, he was performing sadism for the sake of the study. This fundamentally changes the narrative. The guards weren't just spontaneously becoming cruel. They were being told what to do and how to behave. They were responding to what psychologists call demand characteristics, cues in an experiment that convey the hypothesis to the participants, leading them to behave in a way that confirms it. The study wasn't a neutral observation of human nature, it was a demonstration of how people respond when they are explicitly told how to act. Furthermore, the supposed breakdown of prisoner number 8612, Douglas Corpy, has also been re-examined. Corpy later revealed that his outburst was not a genuine psychological breakdown. He was faking it. He had wanted to leave the experiment to study for an exam but was denied. He realized that the only way to get out was to act crazy. His screams and cries were a performance designed to secure his release, not a sign of authentic emotional trauma caused by the prison environment. So, if the guards were acting and the prisoners were faking their breakdowns, what does that leave? The entire foundation of the Stanford prison experiment's dramatic conclusion begins to crumble. Critics now argue as a result of being given instructions, a powerful uniform, and a sense of permission from an authority figure, the lead researcher. This doesn't mean that situations don't influence behavior. They absolutely do. But the Stanford prison experiment is not the clean, scientific proof it was claimed to be. It's a case study in how a researcher's own biases and expectations can manipulate the outcome of an experiment. The study was never peer-reviewed when it was first published, and Zimbardo has been accused of cherry-picking the data that supported his narrative while ignoring evidence that contradicted it. For example, not all the guards were abusive. Some were good guards who were kind to the prisoners and did them small favors. Their behavior was largely ignored in Zimbardo's official accounts because it didn't fit the story he wanted to tell, the story of how power inevitably corrupts. The real lesson of the Stanford prison experiment may not be about the inherent evil that lurks within us all. Instead, it might be about the power of leadership and the danger of scientific authority when it goes unchecked. It shows how easily people can be persuaded to act against their values when an authority figure tells them it's necessary for a greater good, in this case, the success of the science. The experiment's legacy is now a subject of intense debate. Was it a flawed but important study, or was it scientific misconduct? Many modern psychologists argue that its ethical breaches and methodological flaws are so severe that it should no longer be taught as a credible piece of science. The story of good people turned evil is compelling, but the truth is often more complex. The Stanford prison experiment is a powerful reminder to question the narratives we are told, even when they come from trusted sources. It's a cautionary tale about the importance of critical thinking and scientific rigor. The truth isn't always as simple as the stories we're told. Sometimes, you have to dig a little deeper. If you enjoy uncovering the hidden truths behind famous stories, make sure to subscribe to Infinite Tunnel for more.